Hello mi gente and welcome back to Nata Knows Best. So today we are making an adult version of pineapple upside down cake. If you're wondering what I mean by adult version, I'm gonna do the craziest idea and I'm going to soak this pineapple upside down cake in rum. I used to love how moist this cake was, and something about soaking it in rum is just gonna taste so delicious. And not to mention, it'll probably be 10 times more moist. So let's get into it. So before we get started on the recipe, I just want to remind you that I will be linking all ingredients and instructions to this recipe, and it's going to be on my website, which is nataknowsbest.com. So at the end of this video, go ahead and click that link down below and it'll lead you directly to this recipe. So let's get started on our boozy pineapple upside down cake. So here I have a round baking dish, and I'm going to make the base of our cake, which eventually becomes the top because we're going to flip it upside down. So here I have some melted butter, and I'm going to add that to the bottom of the dish. And then I'm also going to add some brown sugar. And I'm just going to press it in and mix it with our melted butter. This is gonna be like a faux caramel to really complement the rum flavor that we're eventually going to add to our cake. I also like to add a few warm spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, maybe even some allspice. For some reason, they really remind me of a spiced rum cake. So this is kind of like a fusion between the two. We're gonna have our pineapple upside down cake, and we're also going to have some touches of spiced rum cake. So to the base, this is totally up to preference. You can go ahead and add those warm spices. A lot of those warm spices can be found in the pre-mix of pumpkin spice. So I'm actually going to sprinkle some of that in. I'm only going to add a little bit just so it warms up our cake and amps up those flavors, but nothing to overpower, obviously. It already smells so good. And the next step for our cake base slash top is to add our pineapples. And I'm just gonna be using canned pineapple rounds. There is no shame in using canned pineapples. By all means, if you like something fresh, you can go ahead and buy a whole pineapple and just slice it. Make sure to drain them from their juices before adding them in. And you want to just place them side by side all around your baking dish. And in the center of our pineapples, we're going to add our cherries. Again, you want to make sure you drain your cherries before adding them in. You also want to take out the stems. Once you're done, the base of your pineapple upside down cake should look something like this. So just go ahead and place it aside, and we're gonna go ahead and start working on our batter. Now, just as a quick tip, if you have any remaining pineapple juice that's in the can, do not throw it away. We're actually going to incorporate it into the recipe in a little secret way. So you want to first start working on your wet ingredients. So in a bowl, I have some softened butter, and I'm going to add some sugar, specifically white sugar, and we are going to cream it together until it's light and fluffy. And next, we're going to slowly incorporate 2 eggs. You're gonna add them in one at a time. Now that we finished whisking in our eggs, as a flavor enhancer, you're going to add some vanilla extract, just roughly 1 teaspoon. So I'm gonna set this aside and I'm gonna start working on our dry ingredients. In a separate bowl, you want to add some all-purpose flour, and you're going to whisk in some baking powder along with some salt. And you're just going to whisk this until there are no clumps. Now, to make this a little easier for ourselves, we're going to actually exchange our whisk for some type of spatula. something flat so you can fold in your wet ingredients. Once it starts looking a little doughy, we're going to add our secret ingredient. Some cake recipes have water, some have milk. This cake recipe has our secret ingredient of pineapple juice. After all, this is pineapple upside down cake, and we never go less than bold in our flavors here. So we are subbing our milk for our pineapple juice. Remember, this is that pineapple juice that we reserved from the can. So I'm going to add that in. The smell of the pineapple is insane. So this is gonna taste like pineapple, it's gonna smell like pineapple, it's gonna have some notes of spiced rum cake. This is just gonna be a dream. Now you're going to add your batter to the base that we created that has our pineapples and our cherries. Carefully dollop on top and just move it around evenly. Our cake is looking beautiful, so now I'm just going to put it in the oven. I've had our oven preheating to roughly 350 degrees, and we're going to let it bake until golden brown. All right, mi gente, and I'm back. So our cake has been done baking for the last 10 minutes. I've had it cooling for a bit, and now it's time to do that important flip. So let's get into it. Are you guys ready to see the unveiling? Just look at that. Our cake is looking so incredible, but it is not done yet. Remember, this is an adult version of pineapple upside down cake. So that means we gotta start soaking this baby in some rum. So here I have a little concoction that I made. It's equal parts water to rum to sugar, and I'm just going to carefully pour it over to really help it soak inside the cake. Go ahead and use a skewer and just poke some holes into the cake and allow our rum mixture to just soak inside. I'm even gonna poke inside of our pineapple rings. At this point, you're gonna go ahead and let the rum soak into the cake for about anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, and then go ahead and serve yourself a slice and enjoy. All right, mi gente, so I have my slice right here, and you already know. It's time to give it a taste test. I'm going right in. Call me genius, but this is amazing. Honestly, guys, if you love spiced rum cake or any type of rum cake, and if you also like pineapple upside down cake, put those two together. You have this plus 100. This is by far one of the best desserts that I have ever made. It is so moist, it is so good, it is so perfect for any adult party. If you guys love this recipe, I will be linking it to my playlist, which is called Not That Knows Desserts. This is a playlist that I've compiled that has all of my favorite dessert recipes. This one will definitely be number one because, again, genius. So if you guys like this recipe, go ahead and check that playlist out. I will also be linking this recipe to my website, like I mentioned, which is notthatknowsbest.com. Stay tuned for next week for another delicious recipe. And as always, mi gente, thank you so much for watching Not That Knows Best. Not to mention, this cake packs a kick. If you guys like anything boozy, here you go. I got you. You might have a little bit of a buzz after this, but who cares?